Yes, everyone, is it visible, audible? Everything is fine? Yes. Yeah, I think it's audible. I got a feedback from here. This chapter, for this chapter, sir. First of all, Sanjana, before starting off, I'll summarize. These 12 attempts paper are previous year questions, correct? All these questions are previous year questions. The pattern will be same. So if you are good with all the concept along with these questions, it will give you the 5 marks which will come from this chapter. Okay, so that these questions are always important. Yes, good evening everyone, good evening. Yes sir, keep supporting. Yes, we'll do that. Yes, we will do for all the chapters. Yes, Amisha, we will be doing for all the chapters. Now which chapter is done? Chapter 13 is done. Now we are going to chapter 17. Likewise, one by one we will solve the entire CA Foundation Quantitative Aptitude last 12 attempts. Okay, that's our plan. And today we are going to start off with our correlation and regression. Good evening everyone. So everyone, I hope that everyone is studying for the attempt. I hope that everyone have covered everything. Okay, push yourself so that you can conquer the Jan 2026 attempt at ease. Okay, so this is chapter 17, correlation and regression. So starting off with Jan 2021 question paper or questions which were there in the Jan 2021 paper. I'll start with the basic question. The coefficient of correlation between x and y is 0.5. What do you mean by that? The coefficient of correlation, R value is how much? 0.5. Then the covariance is 16 and the standard deviation is 4. Okay. Then the standard deviation of x is 4. Then the standard deviation of y is how much is the question? People, they are asking us to know the formula of Pearson's coefficient of correlation. What is the formula? R is equal to covariance of x comma y divided by standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. Everything is given. It is a repeated type of question. So R value is how much here? 0.5, which is equal to covariance is also given in the question. That is how much? 16 divided by standard deviation of x is how much? 4 into standard deviation of y. That is something you need to find. How will you find it? Take this to the other side. Take 0.5 to the denominator. So standard deviation of y is nothing but 16 divided by 4 into y. Sorry, 4 into 0.5. That means how much? Take your calculator. 16 divided by 4. Again divided by how much? 0.5. How much is your answer? 8 is your answer. So option B is your answer. All the chapter, Amisha, we will be doing it. Don't worry about it. Everyone, good evening. Yes, next one. Now coming to the previous question. That is the first question which was asked. For the set of observation, that is 1, 2, 2, 5, 3, 7, 4, 8, 5, 10, the value of Pearson's coefficient of correlation is approximately how much is the question? So they are asking us to find the value of what? The R. What is the formula for Coeff? We just discussed regarding Pearson's correlation coefficient. That is nothing but covariance of x comma y divided by standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. People, we need to know each and individual values using the given set of observations. So people, you tell me x values, then y values. What is the x value over here? Domain value is 1, corresponding y value is 2. Then 2, 5, then 3, 7, then 4, 8. Then what is the remaining term? 5 and 10. So these are the x and y values. Using these x and y values, we need to find the value of covariance, then standard deviation of x, then standard deviation of y. It is very easy to find. First of all, people, if you ask me what is x bar, what is the mean of x over here, you need to add all these values. Which all values now over here? All these values divided by how many terms are there? 5 terms are there. That is your x bar value. X bar is how much now? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 divided by how much now? Divided by 5, which is given as how much? We will get it as 3. Then how to find y bar value? Y bar is nothing but what? Y bar is 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 5. That is how much? 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 5, which is equal to 6.4. That means you got x bar, y bar. You need to find covariance of xy. Then what are standard deviation of x, standard deviation of y? What is the easiest method to find covariance? What is the formula for covariance? Covariance of x comma y, which can be written as what? That is sigma xy divided by n minus x bar into y bar. We have x bar value, we have y bar value. How will you find sigma xy? Sigma xy is nothing but x into y summation. That means 1 into 2. How will you find it? 1 into 2 m plus 2 into 5 m plus 3 into 7 m plus 4 into 8 m plus then 5 into 10 m plus finally you need to click what? MRC then divided by n. N is how much over here? 5. Take your calculator. Clear the memory first. How will you clear the memory? Click MRC 2 times. So how to do that? 1 into 2 m plus 2 into 5 m plus 3 into 7 m plus 4 into 8 m plus 5 into 10 m plus MRC then divided by 5, which is equal to, you will get a value over there. Then how much is remaining? The x bar into y bar. X bar into y bar is how much? You can do one thing. You can keep this value in the memory over there. X bar into y bar is how much? That is nothing but 3 into 6.4. That is 19.2. And you are getting the covariance value as how much? You are getting a value over here. Keep it over there. Okay. Whatever value you got. Then we are going to find the value of standard deviation of x. Standard deviation of x is how much? Standard deviation formula is what? Root of sigma x minus x bar divided by what? Divided by, sorry, x minus x bar, sigma x minus x bar the whole square divided by n. So how will you find it? 1 minus x bar is how much? 3. Then into equal to m plus 2 minus 3 into equal to m plus 3 minus 3 is 0. Leave it. 4 minus 3 into equal to m plus then 5 minus 3 into equal to m plus finally MRC then divided by how n value is how much? 5. Similarly, find for standard deviation of y also. Then you will get all the values, substitute it there, you will get the answer. That you can do it, right? Just the calculation part is there. So if you are good with calculator, you will easily solve this question. And from my side, if you ask me, are you guys good with calculators? Do you have the speed to solve things in calculator? If not, please check the calculator trick video so that it will help you out to solve things very faster. Otherwise it will take a lot of time to solve these type of questions. So be good with calculator. Also, if you know the simplified formula of this, you can directly get the answer of this question. Here the answer will be around 9.8 something. Option D will be your answer. So do it and try to get the answer. Now people, the intersecting point of two regression lines x on y and y on x is what? Where will regression line intersect? The two regression lines will intersect at their what? Will intersect at their means. Okay, remember that it is a repeated question. X bar comma y bar, option B is your answer. Next question people, given that the variance of x is equal to square of the standard deviation of y. Hey, what do you mean by variance? The variance is nothing but standard deviation square. That means standard deviation of x square, that is variance of x, correct? Is equal to square of the standard deviation of y. That means standard deviation of y square. What do you mean by that? Variance squares, both the variances are equal. That is the basic thing. From that I can write standard deviation of x is equal to standard deviation of y. I hope that everyone is there. If you guys are there, please type something. Where are you guys from? Please write something over there so that I can also know that you guys are there. Yes. Next one. Regression line of y on x is given as what? Y is equal to 40 plus 0.5 into x minus 30. 0.5 into x minus 30. People, if you ask me, there is our general form. What is the general form now? Y minus y bar is equal to y minus y bar is equal to b yx into x minus x bar. That is our general form. So from this, if I rearrange, it will be y minus 40 is equal to 0.5 into x minus 30. From this, what did you understand? Y bar value is how much da? Y bar value is 40. Our mean of y is how much? 40. Then mean of x is how much da? Mean of x is how much? That is nothing but x bar is equal to 30. From this, we got one more thing, that is the regression coefficient of y on x is how much? That is equal to 0.5. So we got the value of byx. These things are given. It's a very good question, people. Then coming to the next point. If you ask me, here one more thing we know about it. The byx is what? What is the formula for byx? That is nothing but correlation coefficient into standard deviation of y divided by standard deviation of x. Okay, we know that standard deviation of y and standard deviation of x are same, so they will get cancelled off. That is how much? R value. Then bxy is how much? R into standard deviation of x divided by standard deviation of y. That is also equal to R, which implies bxy is equal to R. Yes, R is equal to how much? Byx, which is equal to how much? 0.5. We have the value of 0.5 because byx and bxy are equal. So you can directly write it as bxy is equal to 0.5. So last step, we are going to write the last step. How will you find the regression line of x on y? You write the general formula, that is x minus x bar is equal to bxy into y minus y bar. Substitute things over here. X minus x bar value is how much? 30, which is equal to 0.5 into y minus y bar value is how much? 40. Now rearrange it, people. You will get the answer. X minus 30 is equal to, can I write it as half into y minus 40. Now cross multiply, 2 into x minus 30 is equal to y minus 40. Take 40 to the other side, it will become 40 plus 2 into x minus 30 is equal to y. Looking at the option, what is the answer? Option C is your answer. Y is equal to 40 plus 2 into x minus 30. Very good question. It is one of the best questions which was asked in the last 12 attempts. Now people, regression coefficients remain unchanged due to shift of scale. Will shift of scale affect regression coefficient? Yes. Will shift of origin affect regression coefficient? No. So shift of origin will not affect our regression coefficient. One of the repeated question I am telling you, people, again and again, regression coefficients, or even if it is a measure of central tendency or dispersion, shift of scale and shift of origin is important. Coming to July 2021 examination, it was comparatively easy compared to the Jan 2021. If the sum of the product of the deviation of x and y from their mean is 0, then the correlation coefficient between them, between x and y, is how much? We know the formula. If sigma dx dy is equal to 0, which implies r is equal to what? R is equal to 0. So which option is the right answer? Option A is your right answer. Next question. If the slope of the regression line is calculated to be 5.5 and the intercept is 15, then the value of x when value of y when x is 6 is the question. How to find this? Very easy. We know the general form. Y is equal to mx plus c. That is the general formula of a straight line, which we have studied in very young class. Correct? Now here what are they saying? Y is equal to, instead of m, who is sitting there? 5.5. Slope is 5.5 and the intercept is 15. Correct? Now how to do this? Instead of x, you will put what? 6. So y is equal to 5.5 into 6 plus 15. People, take your calculator. So 5.5 into 6 then plus 15. How much is the answer? 48 is your answer. Next question. If y is equal to 9x, x is equal to 0.01y, then r is equal to how much is the question? Very easy. This slope, this is y is equal to 9x. We are finding the value of y when x is given. That means byx is equal to how much? 9. Okay. Then x is equal to 0.01 into y. That means we are finding the value of x when y is given. That means bxy is equal to how much? The 0.01. Now we need to find the value of r. We know how to find the value of r. R is nothing but root of byx into bxy. Take your calculator, people. That is 9 into 0.01. Then click equal to. Then click root. Answer is how much? 0.3. Option C is your answer. I hope that you got it. Understood up. Arthaita. Purinjida. Samjaya. Manasilayo. People. Arthamaita. Yes. Next one. The straight line graph of a linear equation y is equal to a plus bx. The slope is horizontal. People. In very young age we would have drawn graphs, correct? Yes, there is an x-axis, there is a y-axis. This is what a negative y, then there is what a negative x. Let it be like this. Now people, when is a graph or slope is horizontal, that means it should be parallel to x-axis, correct? It should be parallel to x-axis. That means, what can you imply from this? It should be what? It should be parallel to x-axis means, that means there should not be any x value. If that means only a y value is there, y value is constant, that's why this graph is going like this, correct? If the ulta is happening, if there is only an x value, it will be going like this. I mean, it will be vertical. This is horizontal. So that means the b value should be 0. Then if byx, that means regression coefficient of y on x is equal to minus 1.6. and regression coefficient of x on y is equal to minus 0.4, then correlation coefficient is how much is the question? One of the easiest question, because option, looking at the option, people, there is only one option with negative value. That means option B is the answer. So how can I judge that this option B is the answer directly? People, do you remember? R is equal to plus or minus root of bxy into byx. This is the formula. When are we choosing positive sign for R? When are we telling R is positive? R is positive when regression coefficient of byx and bxy are positive. When are we telling R is negative? When both the values are negative, we are saying that R value is negative. Here look, both are negative. That means option B is the answer. Directly you can do that, get the answer without even doing it. Looking at that, that is minus of root of 1.6 into 0.4. Take your calculator, 1.6 into 0.4, click equal to, then click root. You are getting it as minus 0.8. Option B is your answer. So that is July 2021, people. Now we are going to December 2021. If the data points of x, y series on a scatter diagram lie on a straight line that goes downwards as x value move from left to right, then the data exhibit dash correlation. People, when I am moving from left to right, what is happening? The straight line goes downwards. That means it is going like this. That is the basic meaning. Did you understand the point? Now people, it is what this is called as perfect negative correlation. Correct? We have studied this. Perfect negative correlation. But it is given like the option is direct, then imperfect, indirect, indirect, imperfect, direct. What do you mean by imperfect? Imperfect means negative. Keep that in mind. Imperfect means not perfect. Not imperfect means what? It is not perfect. That is the basic meaning. Okay. Perfect means what? Perfect means it is positive. Imperfect means what to say? Look here. The direct correlation means it is positive. Sorry for that. Direct means positive. Then indirect means negative. Then perfect direct or direct itself means perfect positive. You can take into look into that. Now looking at this, which option is your right answer? It exhibits a what type of correlation? It exhibits a indirect correlation. Why it is indirect correlation? Because it is going down, or we can call it as a negative correlation over here. Negative correlation, perfect negative correlation. Okay. Now, for any two variables x and y, the regression equations are given as 2x plus 5y minus 9 and 3x minus y minus 5 is equal to 0. Then what are the AM of x and y? What is the easiest method to do? Option hit. Why are we going to option hit? You tell me, da. The reason for option hitting over here is we know that two regression lines will intersect at their means. So whichever, when you option hit, whichever option is giving you LHS and RHS equal, that option is your right answer. Try option A. 2 into, instead of x you are putting 2, plus instead of y you are putting 1. That means 5 into 1 minus 9, which is equal to 2 into 2 is how much? 4. 4 plus 5 minus 9, which is equal to 0, which is equal to our RHS. RHS is how much? 0. That is correct. Now check second equation. 3 into, instead of x you are putting what? 1 minus what? Minus, instead of y you are putting 1, then minus 5, which is equal to how much? Which is equal to, that is 3, sorry, instead of x you are putting 2, right? Which is equal to 6 minus 6, which is equal to 0, which is equal to our RHS. RHS is 0. That means option A is your answer. Got it? This is the easiest method, people, and there were multiple attempts in which they have asked question based on this. Now the next question. The intersecting points of two regression lines falls at x-axis. Baby Shasha, right answer. X-axis. If the mean of x values is 16, then the standard deviation of x and y are respectively 3 and 4. Then the mean of y value is how much? People, what are they telling them? Intersecting point of two regression lines lie on x-axis. Which is x-axis? The one which is horizontal. So they are, if these two lines are meeting at x-axis. Okay, this is the x-axis. What happens in an x-axis? In x-axis, y value is equal to 0, right? Correct? Only x values are there. If a point lie on x-axis, that means y values are 0. Which implies what? The mean of y values is how much? 0. One of the good question which was asked in the previous year. Next one, another repeated. I told you previously also. Again, it was asked. The regression coefficients remain unchanged when there is a shift of origin, people. Option A. I hope that at least you learn one question from this video. That itself will give happiness to me. Okay, next one. June 2022 question paper. If the plotted points on a scattered diagram lie from lower left to upper right. Yes, if you have my book, you will easily get the answer. Lower left to upper right. If it is a straight line, it is perfect positive. If it is not a straight line, I can call it as what? Positive. They have not mentioned a straight line from lower left to upper right. That's why I am going with option D over here. Arthaita? Purinjida? Yes. Next one. For finding correlation between two qualitative characteristics. Very important, people. Make a note of it. Qualitative characteristics. When are we dealing with qualitative characteristics? Whenever we are talking about Spearman rank correlation coefficient, we are talking about what? The qualitative characteristics. It is a very good question and it can come for this exam because it was never repeated. So there is a high chance that this question can come for your examination for Jan 2026. Next one, people. Look here. For n pairs of observation, the coefficient of concurrent deviation is found to be 1 by root 5. That means our value is how much? 1 by root 5. Then there are 6 concurrent deviation. That means C value is 6. We need to find the value of n. What is the formula for coefficient of concurrent deviation? R is equal to what? Root of 2c minus m divided by m. Instead of r, what are we going to write here? 1 by root 5, which is equal to root of 2 into c. Instead of c, you are going to put what? 6. That is 2 into 6 is how much? 12 minus m divided by m. Okay, root is also there. In order to remove the root, we will square both sides, or you can option hit also. Instead of that, we will go with the normal method. So square both sides, it will be 1 by 5 is equal to 12 minus m divided by m. Now cross multiply, people. Cross multiply. That means m goes to this side. M is equal to 12 into 5 is how much? 5 into 12 is how much? 60 minus 5 into m. 5m I can write. If 5m goes to the other side, m plus 5m will be how much? 6m. 6m is equal to 60. From that I got m is equal to 10. But are they asking for m? No, they are asking for n. N is what? M plus 1, which is equal to 10 plus 1. Yes, to 11. 11. 11. Yes. Next question. Cauchy-Pearson's coefficient is defined from. Actually, it's a very good question, people. So, two options can be right. Looking at the ICA book itself, I can say that two options can be right. A can be for any data. That is possible. Any data means either grouped or ungrouped is possible. But according to our syllabus, in our text, it is mentioned as ungrouped data. But people, any data can also be the answer. Okay. Yes. Which one, da? Pavan, can you tell me which question? Which question are you implying, Pavan? You can tell me so that I can repeat it. Yes. Yes, after this, I'll explain that. Please type. Now, for a positive and perfectly correlated means what? The R value is positive and perfectly means R value is plus 1. Okay. Random variables. One of the regression coefficient is 1.3. One of the regression coefficient is 1.3 and the standard deviation of x is 2. Then the variance of y is how much is the question. What is the formula we are going to use? The Byx is equal to one of the regression coefficient. Byx is equal to how much? The that is given as, I'm assuming it as 1.3. I'm taking Byx is equal to 1.3. We know the formula for Byx. What is the formula? The correlation coefficient into standard deviation of x divided by standard deviation of x, standard deviation of y divided by standard deviation of x, which is equal to 1.3. People, R value is how much? We are taking it as 1. Correct? Then standard deviation of y, we don't know. We will keep it there. Then standard deviation of x is how much? 2, which is equal to 1.3. Now find me the value of standard deviation of y. Cross multiply. 2 into 1.3 is how much? 2.6. So we got the value of standard deviation of y. But are they asking for standard deviation of y? No, they are asking for variance of y. That means sy square we need to find, that is 2.6 square. Take your calculator. 2.6 into equal to, which is equal to 6.76. Option B is your answer. 248 you are asking. 1 second. Yes. What did we do over here? We have our general formula for coefficient of concurrent deviation. R is equal to how much? R is equal to root of 2c minus m divided by m. So we have R value, we have C value. We wrote everything over here. So 1 by root 5 is equal to root of 12 minus m divided by m. That means square both sides. We are squaring in order to take the root out. That means 1 by 5 is equal to 12 minus m divided by m. What are we going to do now? Cross multiplying. Cross multiplying, m goes to this side, means m is equal to 5 into 12 is how much? 60 minus 5 into minus m is how much? Minus 5m. This minus 5m goes to this side. It will become plus 5m plus m. That is how much? The 6m is equal to how much? 60. From this, m is equal to 60 divided by 6. That is nothing but 10. Then n, we know that n is nothing but m plus 1. From that you got the answer. M is equal to how much? Sorry, n is equal to how much? 11. Okay, Pawan, got it down? Yes. Now coming to the next question. December 2022, people. Look here. The coefficient of rank correlation coefficient, Spearman rank correlation coefficient, people. This is one of the most repeated type of question. Spearman rank correlation in the recent year, in the recent attempts, this was one of the most repeated type of question, people. The coefficient of rank correlation coefficient between the ranking of the following 6 students in 2 subjects, maths and statistics, is given. People, if you look here, it is not a straightforward rank. So we should assume that it is not given in a right order. So what we should do over here, we should write the, what's happening here? Something went wrong. Okay, let's see. Fine. So you tell me, what is the rank? Who is having the first rank in here? 10. That means first rank is for 10. Then who is having the second rank over here? 8 is having the second rank. Third rank is for 7. Then fourth rank is for 5. Then fifth rank is for 4. Then Sixth rank is for 3. Similarly, over here, I am writing it as x values, rx or rank x. Here I am taking it as y values. Who is having the highest marks now? That is 9. I am taking it as he is having the first rank. Then who is having the this thing now? Second is for 2. Then this is actually a wrong question if you ask me. Instead of ranks, it should have been mentioned like ranking. Instead of ranking, it should have been marks over here. Okay, yes. Then who is having the third rank? 6 is having third rank. Who is having the fourth rank? 4. Then who is having the then 5, then 6. So this is the order, people. Now you have the ranks of x and ranks of y. Now we need to find the correlation coefficient. What is the rank correlation coefficient formula? That is nothing but 1 minus 6 sigma t square divided by n cube minus n. People, what is the sigma t square? Sigma t square is nothing but square of the differences of the rank. If you ask me, first rank is how much? 6 and 3. So how will you find that up? I'll just use calculator. People, use calculator along with me. You will get the answer. Okay. So the method is very simple. First step, 6 minus 3. That is 6 is here, then 3 is here. 6 minus 3. Then we require the square of it. How will you take square in calculator? Click into, then click equal to, then click m plus. So 6 minus 3 into equal to m plus. Got it? Next one. 4 minus 4, that is anyway 0. You can ignore it. Then 2 minus 1 into equal to m plus. Then 5 minus 2 into equal to m plus. Then 3 minus 6. 3 minus 6 into equal to m plus. Finally, 1 minus 5 into equal to m plus. When you click MRC, you are getting the entire sigma d square value. Okay, are you getting the point? When you click MRC, what are you getting? The entire sigma d square value you are getting. People, with that you need to multiply what? The 6 into sigma d square you need to multiply over there. That what are you going to do? 6 into that value you will multiply. That means into 6 you are doing. Whatever value you got, multiplied with 6. Then what is n cube minus n? The n cube is how much? How many terms are there in total? The 6 terms are there. That means 6 cube. 6 cube is how much? That is 216. Minus 6 is how much? 210. So entire thing divided by 210. That means you got this much value. Okay. What you got? You got that much value. Then what is the next step? Change sign. Why are we changing the sign? Because the sign in front of 6 is what? Minus. So you will change the sign. Then plus 1. One more question. How will you change the sign? There is a plus or minus sign over here. Correct? Click that plus or minus. Then only you can change the sign. Then plus 1. You might be getting the answer as minus 0.25. So looking at that, there is no option having minus 0.25. If you look into the nearest answer, you should go for option D, that is 0.2. This is a wrong question, people. So it was asked in which year? It was asked in December 2022. But I hope that you understood the method. But this type of question was repeated again in the coming attempts. You will see that. Then people, Pearson's coefficient of correlation between x and y is what? What is the formula for Pearson? The covariance of xy divided by standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. Looking at that, option A is your answer. Next question, people. One of the easiest question and one of the most repeated type of question. Equations of two lines of regressions are 4x plus 3y plus 7 is equal to 0. 3x plus 4y plus 8 is equal to what? 0. Yes, there are equations. Randomly I said like that. Find the correlation coefficient between x and y is the question. People, what is the method we need to follow? Previous question, yes, correct. Now, what is the method we need to follow? First, the easiest method or the usual method we should follow is assume. Randomly we will assume. Let us assume that this 4x plus 3y plus 7 is, let us assume 4x plus 3y plus 7 is equal to 0 is x on y, which implies we can find the value of bxy is how much? I told you one shortcut. If you don't know the shortcut, my shortcut, if you want to see the shortcut, go to the marathon video or the recorded video, or if I have like the quick revision, anything you can check. My shortcut is there. My shortcut is very simple. Who is the unknown over here? X. Who is the known over here? Y. So minus of coefficient of known, that is minus of 3 divided by coefficient of unknown, minus 3 by 4. Similarly, we will assume the second equation. Second equation is this equation as y on x. From that we will get b yx is equal to, who is known here? X is known. That means minus of 3 by 4. You got 3 by 4, minus 3 by 4, minus 3 by 4. Then you will check whether our assumption is correct or not. R is equal to, minus you will take outside because both the regression coefficients are having negative. So you will write the minus sign outside, root of 3 by 4 into 3 by 4, which is equal to minus 0.75, which is in between minus 1 and plus 1. That means our assumption is correct and the correlation coefficient is how much? Minus 0.75. Option A is your answer. Negative sign is important, Adnan. Check on that. Now the next question. If the regression equations are 2x plus 3y plus 1 is equal to 0, 5x plus 6y plus 1 is equal to 0, then the mean of x and y are respectively. I told you, whenever they are giving us the equation and they are asking for finding mean, what is the method? Option hit. Whichever option is giving you the LHS and RHS equal, that's your right answer. Look here, looking at this, you can go for option C. Try. Instead of x, you will put what? 1. Instead of y, you will put what? Minus 1. Substitute over here. 2 into 1, that is 2. Then plus 3 into minus 1 is how much? Minus 3 plus 1, which is equal to 3 minus 3, which is 0, which is equal to RHS. Now check the second equation. 5 into 1 is 5. 6 into minus 1 is how much? Minus 6 plus 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 minus 6 is 0, which is equal to our RHS. That means option C is your right answer. Yes. Next one, people. Look at this. Another direct question. Regression coefficient of y on x is 0.5. Regression coefficient of x on y is 0.46. Find the value of correlation coefficient R. You know the method. R is equal to root of. See, here it is plus sign. Why? Because both are having positive value, that is bxy into byx, which is equal to root of 0.5 into 0.46. Take your calculator, people. 0.5 into 0.46. Click equal to, then click root. You are getting it as 0.479 something you are getting. Nearest answer is option D. Got it? Next one. June 2023 attempt question. Given that R is equal to 0.4, N is equal to 81. It's a very good question. I'll tell you how to solve this. Okay. Determine the limits for the population correlation coefficient. We need to find the population correlation coefficient. The method I'll tell you now. So I have taught you about probable error, right? Probable error. What is the formula for probable error? We have studied 0.6745 into 1 minus r square divided by root n. This is the formula for probable error which I have taught you. Now people, this population correlation coefficient P is nothing but we can write it as R plus or minus probable error. So two limits will be there. One, you should add the probable error, you will get one value. Another one, you need to subtract the probable error from R value, then you will get another this population correlation coefficient value or evaluation coefficient value you will get. So two values you will get and that will be directly given in the answer. Now people, what is the value of R? 0.4. So 0.6745 into 1 minus r square. How will you find 1 minus r square? R square is how much? 0.4 into equal to change sign plus 1, that is 0.84 divided by how much? The root 81. Root of 81 is how much? 9 square is 81. So that means root of 81 is 9 divided by 9. From that you will get 45 divided by 9. You will get it as 0.06295333. Yes. From that P is equal to, we have our value 0.4. 0.4 minus 0.6745 0.06253 or 0.4 plus 0.06253, which is 0.4 minus this is how much da, which is coming to be 0.337, and plus this how much da, 0.463. Option C is your answer. Got the logic? Yes sir. Why changing sign? In which question are you telling da? With respect to this, sir? Yes. So what chapter should mostly prioritize, coming from someone who is starting now? So people, if you are starting today, start off with chapter 4, Mathematics of Finance, high weightage chapter. 15 marks can be there. Then go for chapter 13, then go for chapter 14, then go for logical reasoning, entire thing. With that itself, that is 55 marks. Okay, so do that way, prioritize that way. Then go for this correlation, regression, index number. These are easy chapters. Direct questions will be there. Yes. So this one, plus or minus, we are finding the limits. So we are finding that correlation coefficient, probable population correlation coefficient limit. That's why in the formula there is a plus or minus sign. Since we are taking error, right, error can be either up or either it can be down. That's why there is a plus or minus sign over there. Next question. Spearman rank correlation coefficient formula is what? Look at this. 1 minus 6 sigma d square divided by n into n square is how much? N cube. Then open the bracket again. It is n cube minus n. So option D is your answer. Next question. The regression line will be perpendicular to each other. Very important, people. Perpendicular to each other means R value is 0. Make a note of it. Yes. Next question. Another question based on mean. If the regression equations are x plus 2y minus 5 is equal to 0 and 2x plus 3y minus 8 is equal to 0, then the means of x and y are respectively how much? People, what is the method I told you? Whenever you get a question based on means, you option hit. I am repeating again. When it comes for your examination, that time also you should think option hit. Which option are you going with? I can go with looking at that. People, one more thing. Some people can just look at the option and directly start off and check that. Some people won't be able to do that. Those people should start with option A, B and accordingly do it. Others, if you are able to do it, directly go for that. Okay, 1, 2. I am assuming 1, 2. Let's see. Instead of x, you will put 1. Instead of y, you will put 2. Instead of x, that means 1 plus 2 into 2 is how much? 4 minus 5, which is equal to 0, which is our RHS, right hand side. Similarly over here, 2 into 1 is 2 plus 3 into 2 is 6 minus 8, which is equal to 0, which is our RHS. That means option C is the right answer. Next question, people. Another good question. Everything is given. We need to find the value of, for the variables x and y, for a set of observations, set of 4 observations. How many observations are there in total? N is equal to 4. This is actually something you should take your time and solve it. Okay, I'll tell you how to solve it also. Sigma x is given, sigma y is given, sigma x square is given, sigma y square, sigma xy, everything is given. Then the regression line of y on x is your question. People, n is equal to 4, correct? Then x bar is how much? You tell me. X bar is nothing but sigma x divided by n, which is equal to how much? Sigma x is how much? 10 divided by n is how much? 4, that is 2.5. 10 divided by 4, which is equal to 2.5. I'm writing it 4 so that you will understand whenever you refer the notes also. Y bar is equal to what? Sigma y divided by n, that is nothing but 14 divided by 4, which is equal to how much? 3.5, correct? 3.5. Then what else you need to find? Now people, how will you find covariance? Because we require covariance while we are studying or finding bxy, byx. We know the formula of byx. Why are we finding byx? Because they are asking regression line of y on x. Y on x means what? Finding y when x is known. Byx formula is what? Covariance of xy divided by sigma x, or standard deviation of x square. Now we need the value of covariance of xy. Covariance of xy, how will you find? Covariance of xy, which is equal to nothing but the formula. Directly apply the formula, that is sigma xy divided by n minus x bar into y bar, which is sigma xy is 3 by 4 minus x bar into y bar is how much? 2.5 into 3 sorry, 1 second. 2.5 into 3.5. Correct. Yes. Now take your calculator, solve it for me, which is how much? How much are you getting down? That is, clear the memory, 2.5 into 3.5. Then click m minus 3 by 4 m plus MRC. You are getting it as minus 8. So we have the value of covariance of x. Then we need to find the standard deviation of x square. That means variance we need to find. Standard deviation of x square, that means you will write the formula without writing the root. That is nothing but what? We have the formula for that, sigma x square divided by n minus x bar the whole square, which is sigma x square, that is 65 divided by n is how much? 4. Then you will 65 divided by 4 m plus, then x bar is how much? 2.5 into equal to m minus MRC. How much are you getting? You are getting it as 10, I guess. Yes, yeah, 10. So you got the value as 10. Then substitute everything over here. That is covariance, that is minus 8 divided by 10, which is equal to minus 0.8. You got it as minus 0.8. Now, if you have everything, how will you find the formula for this one? The regression line, y minus y bar is equal to this slope is how much over here? Byx into x minus x bar. Y minus y bar is how much? Y minus y bar is, we already found y bar. Yes, y minus 3.5 is equal to minus 0.8 into x minus x bar is how much? We got it as 2.5. From this you can rearrange, which is equal to y is equal to, I am taking this to other side, plus 3.5. Then minus a 0.8 into x is how much now? Minus 0.8 x. Then minus 0.8 into 2.5. 1 second. Minus 0.8 into 2.5. That is also minus. That means which is equal to 2. From this, y is equal to minus 0.8 x plus, for 2 plus 3.5 is how much? 5.5. You got the answer. Option C is your answer. Got the point? This is the method, people. They have asked questions like this also. Sometimes it will take some time to solve it. Okay. Never feel like, oh, I need more time, or I am taking too much time on a question. Never feel like that, because one or the other question will be direct. Just like this. Look here, the dash can be defined as the covariance, a ratio of covariance of two variables to product of the standard deviation. We know that it is KPCC, or Cole-Pearson's correlation coefficient. This type of question, how many seconds you are taking? You are taking 2 or 3 seconds. Some other question you will take 2 minutes. That's okay, because you will save time somewhere, some other place. So that is perfectly fine. Look at the next question. Coming to December 2023. If the regression line of y on x and x on y are given to be like this, 10x minus 290 is equal to minus 20y, 7y minus 104 is equal to minus 4x, then the arithmetic mean, whenever they are saying arithmetic mean, what are you going to do? Option hit, people. Are you doing that? Option hitting? Yes, I have seen some suggestions. Good. Your suggestion is correct. Try option A. Try option A. Looking at that, 5 into 10 into 5. Instead of x, you are putting 5. Minus 290 is equal to minus 20 into 12. So, which is how much? That 10 into 5 is 50. 50 minus 290 is minus 240, which is equal to minus 240. That means LHS and RHS are equal in the first equation. Try in the second equation. 7 into how much? Da 7 into 4, not 5, 7 into 12 minus 104 is equal to minus 4 into how much? 5. 7 into 12 is how much? 84. 84 minus 104 is how much? Now minus 20, which is equal to 4 into 5 is 20. So minus 20 LHS is equal to RHS, which means option A is your right answer, people. Yes. Next question. One of the repeated question in September attempt, the same question was there. If the regression coefficient RYX of y on x is greater than unity, then the regression coefficient of Rxy of x on y should be less than unity or less than 1. Option A is your answer. Next question, people. If the coefficient of correlation is 0.8 and regression coefficient bxy is 0.32, then what is the value of what the regression coefficient byx? People, how can you find it? Very easy. We know only one formula. R is equal to what? The root of bxy into byx. R is how much as per the question? Correlation coefficient R is equal to 0.8, which is equal to root of bxy is how much? The 0.32 into byx. Now people, square both sides. Squaring both sides, it will become 0.8 square is how much? 0.8 into equal to 0.64 is equal to 0.32 into byx. From that I got byx is equal to 0.64 divided by 0.32, which is equal to 2. Option A is your answer. Artha people. Got the point? Yeah. Next one, look at the question. Another easy question. If 4y minus 6x is equal to 18 is a regression line of y on x, and coefficient of correlation between x and y is 0.8, what is the value of regression coefficient of x on y is the question, people. From this what can you find? B is a regression line of y on x. That means we are finding the value of y when x is given. So byx is how much? I already told you it is nothing but minus of coefficient of known, that is minus of minus 6 divided by coefficient of unknown, that is 4. That is minus of minus 6 is how much? 6 by 4. Okay, you got byx. Now what are we going to find? The coefficient of correlation is also given. R value is 0.8. We need to find bxy. Very easy. R is equal to root of bxy into byx. R is equal to 0.8, which is equal to, then this is how much? The root of bxy is how much? We need to find bxy into byx is 6 by 4. Take your calculator. 6 divided by 4 is how much? 6 divided by 4 is 1.5. Now square both sides. 0.8 into equal to divided by 1.5. So b 1.5. So b xy is equal to 0.426666, which is the nearest answer. Option B is your nearest answer. Got the point? Yeah. Yes. I got little hyper in between. If covariance of, we are going to June 2024, people. Yes. So how many more are pending? June is there, then December is there, then Jan is there, then May is there, then September is there. 5 more attempts are pending. We have done 7. Yes. If covariance of xy is minus 2.15, standard deviation of x is this much, standard deviation of y is 2.5, then the correlation coefficient is how much, people? Now, what is the formula for R according to KPCC? What is the formula? R is nothing but covariance of x comma y divided by standard deviation of x, standard deviation of y. People, here, look here, looking at the option, there is only one option with negative sign, that is option A. Without even writing, you can go for option A. But we will check. So, covariance is how much now? Minus 2.15 divided by standard deviation of x is how much? 1.3 into 2.5. Take a calculator. 2.15 divided by 1.3 divided by 2.5. So, that is how much now? 0.66. So, answer is minus 0.666. 6615. So, nearest answer is option E. You can do that way. Next question, another good question, people. For a group of 10 students, the sum of the squares of the difference in ranks for physics and chemistry was 60. That means sigma d square is equal to 60. N is equal to 10. What is the value of rank correlation coefficient? Direct question. Okay. So, what is the formula for rank correlation coefficient? R is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma t square divided by n cube minus n, which is equal to 1 minus 6 into 60 divided by n cube is how much? N is 10. 10 cube is how much? 1000. 1000 minus 10 is how much? 990. Take your calculator, people. Just use calculator and solve the entire thing. Okay, how to use calculator? 6 into 60 is 360 divided by 990. Then change the sign. How will you change the sign? Plus or minus you click. Then plus 1, then equal to, which is equal to 0.6 6363. Looking at that option is your right answer, people. Hi Ravi, how are you? All good? Yes. Hello everyone. Next one. Spearman's rank correlation coefficient is used to check what? What is the case? The scattering of the data? Nope. Median of a data? Never. Range of a data? Not at all. Answer is what? The relationship in variables. Why are we using correlation coefficient R? In order to find the relationship. Next one. Range of coefficient of correlation coefficient. People, coefficient of correlation or R value is in between what and what? The -1 and +1, including both. So which is the right answer? Between -1 and +1, including +1 and -1. Next question. If the regression lines are 3x minus 4y plus 8 is equal to 0 and 4x minus 3y is equal to 1, then the correlation coefficient between x and y is what? Is the question. People, I already told you this method and I told you it is a repeated pattern of question. The method is very simple. You should always assume first. Assume. How are we going to assume? Let us assume that this is x on, or I will assume that this is y on x. First one is y on x. Then second one is x on y. From this byx is equal to what? Byx is minus of coefficient of known divided by coefficient of unknown is how much now? It is not +4, it is -4. Okay, remember that, which is minus and minus will get cancelled off 3/4. Similarly, from this you can take bxy, which is minus of unknown. Known is how much now? Minus of -3 divided by known is unknown is how much? 4, which is equal to 3/4. People, from this you can find correlation coefficient R is equal to root of bxy into byx, which is equal to root of 3/4 into 3/4. That means 3/4 square, that is nothing but 3/4. 3/4 is how much? 3/4 is 0.75, which is in between -1 and +1. So our assumption is correct. So option A is your right answer. Next question, people. Which of the following is correct regarding limit of two regression coefficient? Is there any limit? Okay, we will check. No limit. Then must be positive. Okay, must be positive. Is that correct? It can be negative also, right? Now also sometime back also we saw that. Then one positive and other negative. Is that possible? No. Look into the last one. Product of the regression coefficient must be numerically less than unity. That is the most probable answer. Why? Because product of them is what? The product of them will give root of bxy into byx, which is giving you what? R value. So it should be less than 1. Then only the R value will be between -1 and +1. So option D is your answer, people. Look at the next question. In case of insurance companies' profits. So can I get this question PDF? Yes, Pavan. I will be attaching it in the description after this is done. I mean, our class is done. It will get over very soon. Don't worry. It will be there. In case of insurance companies' profits and the number of claims they have to pay, there exists what type of correlation? Think about it. If the number of claims has to increase, that means if number of claims are increasing, the profit will go down. The insurance company will have lesser profit. So if x increases, y is decreasing. It is a negative correlation, people. Next one. It's a very good question. Before that, I'll solve this. Which of the following statement is correct? Both regression coefficient must be less than unity. Let me check on that. Regression coefficients are independent of origin and scale. Is it independent of scale? It is not independent of scale. That means option B is wrong. The regression lines of two independent variables are parallel to each other. No. Then if two regression lines coincide with each other, there is no correlation. No. Then both regression coefficients must be less than unity. That is the most possible answer over here. Now, I've missed this question. Look at this question. So today only this chapter. Yesterday we will only be discussing this chapter. Tomorrow next chapter. Likewise, we'll be solving everything. First we will finish statistics. Then we will go for logical reasoning. Then we will go for maths. So that is the pattern I am going to follow. Okay. Yes. The variance of two variables x and y are 16 and 25. Variance of x and y means what? The standard deviation of x is root 16, that is 4. Standard deviation of y is, that is root 25, that is 5. So Sx, that is standard deviation we got for both x and y. Covariance between x and y, that means covariance of x comma y is 18.5. That also we got. Then what are we looking at? The another two variables u and v are defined as u is equal to x minus 3 by 2, v is equal to y minus 2 divided by 3. Then the coefficient of correlation between u and v is how much is the question. First, with the given thing, our correlation coefficient of x and y we can find, right? That is nothing but covariance of x comma y divided by standard deviation of x, standard deviation of y. That is 18.5 divided by 4 into 5, which is equal to how much? The 18.5 divided by 4 divided by 5, which is equal to 0.925. People, we learned one of the property of correlation coefficient, which I just there in my material also, you can check there. We've studied if u is related to x and v is related to y. If the signs of x and y are same, then the correlation of xy will be equal to uv or uv. Yes, correlation of xy will be equal to uv, which is equal to 0.925, because we already found the answer. Now, if the signs are different, if x is having positive and y is having negative sign, then it will be negative 0.925. That is the method, people. Now coming to January 2025 attempt, people. Yes, I'm reading the comments. Yes. Okay, perfect. Next one. Which of the following statement is wrong? Correlation coefficient between x and y is 2.3, 2.6. Is that possible? The value should be in between minus 1 and plus 1. It can't be more than 1. That is not at all possible, people. Look at the next question. It's an interesting question. You are given the following data relating to a frequency distribution of 10 observation. We need to find the covariance of xy. People, what is the formula for covariance of xy? You tell me, what is the formula for covariance of xy? Sigma xy divided by n minus x bar into y bar. That is the formula. From this you can find x bar, right? X bar is nothing but sigma x divided by n, which is equal to 50 divided by 10, that is 5. Then y bar is how much? The sigma y divided by n, that is 60 divided by 10, that is equal to 6. So we have that 5 and 6 as x and y values. That is there. Now people, we need to find the value of sigma xy. But is that given in the question? No. We need to use another method over here. So people, you need to know the basic formula. Basic formula of a plus b the whole square or x plus y the whole square. Look here now. Sigma x plus y the whole square can be written as, it is given as 1372. So can I write x plus y the whole square as like this? Sigma x square plus sigma y square plus 2 into sigma xy, which is equal to 1372. People, sigma x square is given as how much? 300. So 300 plus sigma y square is how much? Given as 352 plus 2 into sigma xy, that is something we require, which is equal to 1372. Now use your calculator, get me the answer of 2 sigma xy is equal to how much? This should go to the other side. That means 1372 minus 300 minus 352, which is equal to 720. So that means sigma xy is equal to 720 divided by 2, which is equal to 360. So we got the value of sigma xy. Can we put it over here? That means covariance of x comma y is equal to 360 by 10 minus x bar is how much? 5. Then y bar is how much? 6, which is 36 minus 30, which is equal to 6. So that means covariance is equal to 6. Option C is your answer, people. One of the easiest question. Okay, can we do the next one? Look at R is equal to 0.8. Byx is equal to 0.6, bxy is equal to 0.5, x bar is 5, y bar is 3. Everything is given. We need to find the regression coefficient of what? The y on x. What is the formula for that? regression equation of y on x, that is equal to what? Y minus y bar is equal to byx into x minus x bar. People, y is how much? We will write it as y itself. Y bar is how much? Mean of y is 3. Byx is how much? Byx is 0.6 into x minus x bar. X minus x bar is how much? X bar is equal to 5. Yes, correct? Yeah, everything is there. You have everything right in front of you. Now just open the bracket. Y minus 3 is equal to 0.6 into x minus 5 into 0.6 is how much? 5 into 0.6 is equal to 3. Minus 3 cancel. So y is equal to 0.6. X is your answer. Option D is your answer. Direct question. So who have CMA in there tomorrow? Okay, all the best for your examination. Do well. Okay. And sampling video in Malayalam Geo, please. I'll try to do it. Time korchu prashnamanu. Nokam namukku. Okay. So look here. R is equal to 0.8. Then the coefficient of non-determination is what? Coefficient of non-determination, what is the formula? 1 minus r square. What is the formula for coefficient of determination? That is r square. 1 minus r square is how much? 1 minus 0.8 square, which is equal to 1 minus 0.64. Answer is 0.36. Option B is your answer. Look at the next question, people. The correlation coefficient between x and y is 0.2. Variance of x, that means variance of x means sx square, that means standard deviation square is variance, right? 5 into variance of y, sy square. Okay, from this can I write it as standard deviation of x square divided by standard deviation of y square is equal to 5? Yes, from there I can write, taking a root on both sides, it will be standard deviation of x divided by standard deviation of y is equal to root 5. That much I got. Okay, now what are we going to do? The question is then the regression coefficient of x on y. X on y means bxy is equal to how much? What is the formula? R into sigma x, or standard deviation of x divided by standard deviation of y. People, R value is how much? How much is it given? R is equal to 0.2, which is equal to 0.2 into standard deviation of x divided by standard deviation of y. How much is given in the question? That is root 5. Put root 5 over there. Get me the answer. How much is the answer? So 0.5. Looking at this, 0.5 can be written as what? 0.2 can be written as 1 by 5. Correct? 1 by 5 into root 5. Root 5 and this will get cancelled. 1 by root 5 will be your answer. How did I get 1 by root 5? Or I will do what? Take your calculator. Type 5, then click root, multiply it with 0.2. How much are you getting? 0.4472. Now check which option is giving you 0.4472. Option A is wrong. Option B is wrong. Try 1 by 5. 1 by root 5. Click 5, then click root, then divide equal to 0.447. So option C is your answer. Okay, that way you can check. Next one. Compute the rank correlation coefficient from the following data. N is given. The sigma d square is given. So people, what is the formula for rank correlation coefficient? One of the easiest formula. What is the formula? R is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma d square divided by n cube minus n, which is equal to 1 minus 6 into sigma d square is given in the question. 5 divided by n cube minus n. 10 cube is 1000. 1000 minus 10 is 990. Take your calculator, people. Just do it directly. How much are you getting now? Take your calculator. 6 into 5 divided by 990. Then equal to, then change the sign, plus 1. How much are you getting? 0.969696. Looking at that, which option you will go with? Will you go with option A or will you go with option C? Which is the nearest answer? 9696 means we need to round it off to what? 0.97. So option A is your answer. Very good question. Some people will go for, even though you get the answer, you will go for the wrong option. Don't do that. Option A is your answer. Now coming to May 2025. Adnan, you understood why 0.97 is the answer? Yes, because we need to round it off to the biggest value over there. Now, May 2025. Correlation coefficient between x and y is 0.8. Okay. Once again, correlation coefficient between x and y is how much? The 0.8. We add a number 10 in the x variables and subtracted 20 from the y variables. Then new correlation coefficient will be what? People, do you know, I told you, will correlation coefficient get affected by change of scale or change of what? The change of scale or origin? Here plus or minus means change of origin. When I add or subtract some value, the correlation coefficient will not change. That means the answer will remain the same. Answer is 0.8. What is the reason? The R is not affected by what? By change of origin. If I multiply or divide, it can change. Okay, but not when I add or subtract. That's why that's your answer. Then when both the regression coefficients are 0.7 and 0.8 respectively, correlation coefficient very easy, root of 0.7 into 0.8. What is the formula? Bxy into Byx. Then click root. How much is it? 0.7 into 0.8. Then click equal to. Then click root. How much are you getting? The 0.748. Nearest answer is option A. 0.75 is your answer. Now look at the next question, another repeated question. R is equal to 0.7, then coefficient of non-determination. People, what is non-determination? 1 minus R square, which is nothing but 1 minus 0.7 square, which is 1 minus 0.49. Answer is what? The 0.51. Option B is your answer. Artha got the answer? Yes. Next one. Given that x is equal to 2y plus 4 and y is equal to kx plus 6 are the two lines of regression of x on y and y on x. This is x on y. This is what? The y on x. Correct? If the values of correlation coefficient R is equal to 0.5, R value is given. That is how much? 0.5. Then the value of k is the question. People, this is x on y. Correct? From that I can find the value of bxy, right? Bxy is how much? From that directly I can write it as, no, once again, bxy, that is non-by, that is 2. I am writing it as 2. Then byx, can I write it as directly? I can write it as k, right? Yes, I can write it as k. Now people, now looking at this, we know that R is equal to root of bxy into byx, which is equal to 0.5 is equal to root of bxy is how much here? That is 2 into k. Now square both sides if required. Squaring both sides, it will become what? 0.5 square is equal to 2k. That means, one second. That means you will take it to the other side. That means 0.5 square is how much? 0.25 divided by 2 is equal to k, which is nothing but 0.125 is the value of k. Looking at the option, which will give you 0.125. 1 divided by 8 is how much? 0.125. So option A is your answer, people. That's the method. I hope that you understood this. Now the next question. For 9 college students group, that means n value is equal to how much? 9. The sum of the squares of the difference is how much? 62. That means sigma d square is 62. I am telling you, correlation, rank correlation coefficient is one of the most repeated topic, people. Never forget the formula. I was going to say never remember the formula. Never forget the formula. What is the formula? R is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma t square divided by n cube minus n. What is the value of rank correlation coefficient is the question. R value we need to find. 1 minus 6 into 62 divided by 9 cube minus 9. 9 cube minus 9 is how much? 9 into equal to 2 times minus 9. That is nothing but 720. So that means 1 minus 6 into 62 is equal to 372 divided by 720. People, take your calculator. 372 divided by 720. Then change the sign. Plus 1. How much are you getting? 0.4833. So option B is your answer. Okay. Next question. Another one. If the regression coefficient Byx is greater than 1, the regression coefficient Bxy is cannot be less than 1. That is 1. Cannot be greater than 1. Okay. What did I tell you previously? If one of the regression coefficient is greater than 1, the other one should be less than 1. So it should be what? Cannot be greater than 1. Cannot be greater than 1 means what? It should be less than 1. Now, direct question, then we will go to that question here. Sum of the squares of the difference of 2 ranks awarded by 2 judges is on 10 candidates. That means n is equal to 10 is dash if the rank correlation coefficient is 0.8. People, R is 0.8, that is given. Then n is 10, that is given. What are they asking? They are asking the sum of the difference between the two ranks, of sum of the difference between 2 ranks awarded by 2 judges. Yes, sum of the squares of the difference they are asking. Sigma d square they are asking. People, what formula we know? R is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma d square divided by n cube minus n is the only formula I know. So R is how much? 0.8. 1 minus 6 into sigma d square divided by n cube is how much? That is 10 cube minus 10. That is 10 cube is 1000. 1000 minus 10 is how much? That is 990. 990. Now people, take this to the other side and 0.8 to the other side. Are you understanding? So I am taking 0.8 to this side and this to this side. So this negative value of this will become positive. 6 sigma d square divided by 990 is equal to 1 minus 0.8. 1 minus 0.8 is how much? 1 minus 0.8 is 0.2. Now take the calculator, cross multiply and get me the answer. So cross multiplying, you will get sigma d square is equal to 0.2 into 990 divided by 6. Take your calculator, 990 into 0.2 divided by 6. How much is the answer? 33. Right answer, none. Right answer, good. Option D is your answer. Next one, I forgot this question, right? Look here. It's a very interesting question. We have discussed this in our book also. It is there. We have discussed it in our class also. So it is a very interesting question also. Yes, so we will be doing chapter 2. Yes, we will be doing chapter 2. Yes, I told you already, right? We will be doing chapter 2 because it is part of our syllabus, right? I told you we will be doing every chapter, so it will be there. Now look here. If m plus 3x is equal to 10, 2y plus 5n is equal to 25, the regression coefficient of y on x, that means byx is equal to 0.8. What is the regression coefficient of n on m is the question. N on m. What is the formula for bnm? We studied this. That is nothing but as per my formula, b by d into byx. Byx value, it's already there, 0.8. But what is this b value? B value is very easy to find. That is nothing but, so this is what the first one is, what? M and x are there. So minus of known by unknown, that means minus 1 by 3. From then d value is how much? We are taking it as minus of known by unknown, that is nothing but minus of 5 by 2. Substitute over here, minus 1 by 3 divided by minus 5 by 2 into 0.8. Take your calculator, people, just do that. You will get the answer very fast. We are using that 1 by 3 divided by 5 into 2 multiplied with 0.8. You are getting it as 0.106. Yes. Yes, Bala, we will be doing all the chapters PYQ. Don't be afraid or don't worry about it. Okay. Yes. Now we are going to the final 2 questions. First, we will take this easy question. Look here. Yes, Bala. Yes, we will do it. Okay, all the chapters we will do. If 2 variables move in the same direction, that is an increase on one part of one variable introduces an increase on the part of the other variable. That means if one variable increases, other variable is also increasing. If x increases, y is also increasing. That means it is positive correlation. If yx increases, y decreases means negative correlation. If x increases, y does not even get affected means no correlation. People, with that, we are going for the last and final question, and it is from September 2025. Yes. For a group of students, the sum of the squares of difference in the ranks for maths and physics are found to be 60. That means sigma d square is equal to 60, which is 120 times the value of rank correlation coefficient. What do you mean by that? Sigma d square is nothing but 120 times the r value. That means sigma d square is how much? 60. 60 is equal to 120 into r. From this, r is equal to how much? 60 divided by 120. That is how much? 60 by 120 is 0.5. How many students are there in the group is the question. People, n value we need to find. That is the question. N we need to find. How to find the value of n? We will use our formula. What formula? R is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma d square divided by n cube minus n. People, r is how much? R we already found it, which is 0.5. Is equal to 0.5 is equal to 1 minus 6 into sigma d square is how much? 60 divided by n cube minus n. That is something we need to find. People, take, as I told previously, take this entire value to the other side and this value to this side. So this minus will become positive in the right hand side. How will you write it? Plus 6 into 60 is how much? 360 by n cube minus n is equal to 1 minus 0.5. 0.5 comes to this side means it will become negative. That means 0.5. People, just option hit and tell me which option is the right answer. Try put n is equal to option hit. Put n is equal to 10. We will try with the 10. Usually 10 is the answer. So that's the case. So 360 divided by 10 cube minus 10 is how much? That is 990, which is equal to 0.3636. That means option B is wrong. That means 10 is wrong. Then you go for option C. That is 9. That is 9 cube minus 9 into equal to 2 times minus 9 is 720s. That means 360 divided by 720, which is equal to 0.5. So put n is equal to what? 9. That means 360 divided by 720, which is equal to 0.5, which is equal to our RHS. That means option C is your answer. Anyone reply me how many chapters we have completed? Chapter 13 we have now completed. Officially we have completed chapter 17. Last 12 attempts PYQs. Okay, Bala? Everyone, thank you so much. If you have any doubt, please feel free to type here, so that I'll also be happy to guide you in this. And don't worry, you are not alone. I am also there with you to help you clearing the Jan 2026 attempt. People, we will solve entire thing. Okay? Yes. If any doubt is there, you can now comment. Okay. Thank you. This PDF, the entire PDF will be attached. You can refer the PDF and you can clear the examination. I'm pakka sure. Study everything. Every chapter is easy. How much chapter from this? How many marks are? 5 marks. Minimum 5 marks. 5 to 6 marks is the usual trend. So 5 to 6 marks you can expect. Okay, Brenda. 261 question. Let me check. 261. Okay, here. 261. What are we doing? They are asking for regression line of y on x. That is the question they are asking over here. So we know the formula for regression line of y on x is nothing but y minus y bar is equal to byx into x minus x bar. So what all things we require? X bar require, y bar require, then byx is required. X bar is how much we can find it using x bar is equal to sigma x divided by n, that is 2.5. So 2.5, that is 2.5. Then similarly we will find y bar, that is nothing but 3.5. That is nothing but sigma y divided by n, that is 14 divided by how much is the n valued of 4, right? 14 divided by 4. From that you got it as 3.5. Now the only missing part is what? Byx. Byx we can find using the formula covariance of xy divided by standard deviations of x square, which is equal to, we need to find the value of covariance of x. In order to find the value of covariance of x, you need to use the formula for covariance, that is sigma xy divided by n minus x bar into y bar, or sometimes we can write it as sigma x by n into sigma y by n. That way also you can write. Whatever way is comfortable for you, you write it that way and find the value of covariance. Then find standard deviation of x square. That using standard deviations, that means variance equation, sigma x square divided by n minus sigma x square, sorry, x bar the whole square, which is equal to 10. From that you got the value of byx. So substitute over there, then open the bracket, you will get the final equation as this. I hope that I got you that entire structure. Or if you are still finding it difficult, what you will do is, once the live is done, you can come back to this 261 question when I explained in the beginning. So you can rewatch it and you will understand it perfectly. Okay? Yes. Any other doubt? If not, we are winding up the session, people. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. We will catch up tomorrow with yet another chapter. Bye-bye. Take care. See you. Good night. Study well. Pass the exam. Yes.